¿Qué tal, mis amigos de boxeo? Maravilla. Y les traigo aquí la última presentación de Emiliano el PacMan Garcia en Florida ante el puertorriqueño de Julio Solis. Esto para recordar la última presentación del muchacho de Argentina ante una nueva oportunidad en el exterior, esta vez en Orlando ante Oreste Velázquez. Así que les traigo la última presentación del PacMan. Que la disfruten. Chau, chau.
Solís in the mint green, navy blue and silver trunks. Black and gold for his opponent. Garcia, his nickname is PacMan. As Antonio mentioned, 13 of his 17 wins have come by knockout.
A lot of times we have to see the opposition that he's knocked out, though. If you knocked out guys who really can't fight, that's one thing. If you knocked out guys that really have good winning records, that's another thing. Right now, when I seen Solis fall short with that jab, with that hook just now, it shows me that he hasn't knocked out guys that are as good as what Solis is.
So a step up for both men, Antonio.
Well, again, you know, we're still trying to see where Solis is at with this upside. So we're going to have to judge him by his opponents. Again, he went the distance with Alex Oliveira. His last fight was, I think, went 6 rounds.
Yep.
He looked impressive in that fight, but he didn't get the knockout. Let's see if he can set that knockout up tonight and get back on the knockout streak.
Good thing is he has to be careful setting up the knockout tonight because he has a guy who does have enough experience to be able to last and be able to deliver a knockout shot if you make a mistake. This guy has 24 professional fights under his belt already. So he's a very experienced professional fighter. And the longer the fight goes, the better it will be for him. So it's mandatory that Solis holds himself like he is in the first round throughout the whole 6 or 8.
3 finishes in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the third. Last fight, as Antonio mentioned, against Alex Oliveira, went the distance. Oliveira came in with a 20-2 record. This is the first 8-round fight in the professional career of Julio Solis.
And hopefully going the distance, that last fight would have helped prepare him for this 8-rounder because he went the distance in a 6-round fight. So now you get the opportunity to face a good guy with great experience in an 8-round fight. That's beautiful for any young fighter, and it gives you the opportunity to get the class work that you really need inside the boxing ring.
Hey, let's get him up. Let's get him up, Black.
Round 1.
Looks like Solis is really taking this round as a fill-out round. He's not coming over aggressively, working behind a nice stiff jab. Looks really good in the first round.
Let go. Keep it clean.
Little movements, some feints, Antonio, to see how, or try to predict how Garcia is going to react as the fight continues, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's like I said, he's moving well right now. He's keeping that jab out in front, dictating the pace. I like what I see the first round, but he's going to have to get a little closer in round 2 and 3.
¿Está bien? No te me desesperes en la defensa. Tú tienes una defensa muy linda. ¿Okay? Bonito aquí, cejadito. Si él viene con esa mano abajo, aprovechame con ese upper. ¿Está bien? Vamos a dejarle un poquito este asalto, no le demos tampoco mucho de eso. ¿Está bien? Si tenemos que bocear otro asalto, lo boceamos. Porque estamos dominando, pero si le estamos dando, le estamos dando. ¿Está bien? Este tipo no te aguanta las manos, macho. Este tipo no te aguanta las manos. Él sabe que tú las tienes duras. Vamos, que usted está ready. ¿Cómo te sientes? ¿Estás bien? Pues ahora es que esto todavía no ha empezado. Ya mismo que vamos a empezar a trabajar nosotros. ¿Está bien, papi? Vamos arriba. ¿Estás trabajando? Sí, y ya en vivo, ¿ok? Haz tu trabajo. Hazlo. Bonito, seguro y cejadito. Vamos.
And yes, as you saw on the graphic, Julio's father, Julio Sr., is in his corner. He is the cut man for his 21-year-old son, again here tonight. Emiliano Garcia.
I like how Solis comes out and works that jab early. You got to learn how to use that jab to set up the other things. He's doing a great job of using that jab. Just don't want to see him run into a headbutt going in too quick with that head.
Got the flashy trunks on with the macho. Brings back some great memories, doesn't it, guys?
Yes, it does.
Of course, all of our great ProBox TV podcast listeners, check it out. With Paulie, Antonio, and Roy, we have some magic.
There we go.
To you. And here comes Julio Macho Solis. And when we were talking on a previous podcast, Roy, about Hector Macho Camacho, you guys both said he was the first one to kind of put that flash, and it led to how you came into the ring, Roy.
Yes, it did. Hector Camacho was the guy who showed you how to dress as far as boxing goes. You know, I've never been a dresser outside the ring, but inside the ring, I love being right. I love to be different. And Camacho was the first guy I saw bring that different flash to the dress.
You were always kind of flashy, weren't you, Antonio?
Nah,
Or
nah.
did you just take it for granted?
I wasn't too flashy.
I mean, Roy did sing his own walk-in. I mean, and what rap? Sorry, Superman. You knew you were going to get a great show.
Yep, he sees Solís starting to get to Garcia a little bit. As long as he keeps his mind right, stays in that pocket where he's not trying to knock out with every shot, he'll be fine.
I like that stiff jab he shoots to the body. But that left hook seemed like his bread and butter punch he's trying to set up.
Stop! Hey, pulling down the head, okay? I'm warning you. Stop.
Very good hook by Garcia.
Was it the first time you rapped at Radio City Music Hall?
No, it wasn't the first time, but that was actually Method Man and Redman rapping that night. I let the rappers do the rapping because I wanted to be the first person to bring rap music into Radio City Music Hall, so I wanted to be big and memorable. By letting Method Man and Redman do it, they were guys who were known in the rap game.
And that's where, on the tail of the tape, Roy took a step over Hector that night, Antonio.
Oh, yeah, that was unforgettable. Ooh.
Garcia digging in here. Little fire at the end of the round for the Argentinian.
One thing you do know, when you bring these guys in from the other country, they ain't coming all the way over here to lay down, man. They got heart, and one thing they can do is fight.
La próxima vamos con banda. Qué buena cosa. Vení bien, ¿eh? Ahora pasamos el tercero y después vamos a empezar a apretar. Ahora vamos a cambiar el aire, ¿entendés?
In 2019, Garcia fought to a draw with former two-division champion Juan Manuel Lopez of Puerto
¿Viste cómo
Rico.
queda colgado él? Volvé con la derecha. Si podés, ¿no?
His first 12 bouts were in Argentina, 17 overall, looking for his first victory outside of his home country. Round 3. Mike Goldberg, Roy Jones Jr., Antonio Tarver. Magic Man, Paulie Malignaggi, utilizing his versatility on the Spanish broadcast tonight.
Oh, good shot.
Great combination.
That's why guys, it seems so quiet once in a while. Paulie's on the Spanish side.
That's what I want to see Solís do more, is put those combinations together. Anytime he does that, it gives him a much better chance of landing a really good shot at the end of that combination.
Garcia trying to answer with one of his own. Little change of levels for Julio Solis.
Yep. See how Garcia is blocking those punches? That shows you that experience, that 24-fight experience. That's where it comes into play at. When you see little things like that, you know he knows what he's doing. That's a real veteran who has been in there, who has learned something from being in there.
Switching to southpaw.
I don't know how effective that is for Solís. I haven't seen much of him in a southpaw stance.
he may have been trying to set up just one big shot walking into one, right, Antonio?
Well, you know, sometimes, you know, things aren't going exactly right, and for a minute there, you kind of just, you try to do something else. But then, as you see, he's right back in his natural stance. So we'll just chalk that up as that.
Yeah.
I don't know how much more of that we're going to be seeing tonight.
Fair enough.
I think he just wanted to change the picture a little bit. You know?
Nice right hand.
Garcia's here to fight. But when we were doing the podcast the other day, Antonio, and we were breaking down our card here tonight, your eyes lit up when you saw Garcia's experience and record that you and Roy talked about.
Well, I know he's going to be here. You know, unless Solis set that shot up perfectly, he's going to be here for the fight. He's coming. He got heart, but I don't know how much talent or technique he has to make it a tough night for Solis. We're going to have to see more.
Well, quite clearly, Solis is the better talented guy and the better technician.
Right.
But what you have to see is how he controls himself to keep himself under control for the whole 8 rounds if it happens to go 8 rounds. That's what we're here to see tonight.
And as we mentioned, he did go the distance for the first time in his young career, a 6-rounder back in March right here at our Pro Box TV headquarters.
You ain't wasting no time. One full 6-rounder, right to a full 8-rounder. You love to see that.
Okay.
Sí. Está bien lo que está
Muy bien. Vamos para arriba, que está trabajando muy lindo.
You see Solis come in and land this right to the body, followed by a hook to the head, right to the head, right body, left body, overhand right to the head. Beautiful ending on the combination. Then you see him land an overhand right by itself right there. I guess he said it worked on the end the first time, it worked in the beginning the second time. Way to change things up.
Solis, when he talked to our guru, Michael Woods, he asked him, what'd you learn from your last fight? He said, I showed everyone I can box and fight, not just knock everyone out. I'm ready to go the far distance now. We worked even harder to make sure if we ever go the distance again, we're more than ready for anything that comes. And so far, we're working our way into some rounds.
And what I see by Solis is how he's approaching this fight. He's more poised and under more control than I've seen in the past. So I can honestly say that going a distance seems as if it kind of, you know, it worked for him. He's learned a little bit from that.
Once you get over that hump of going the distance that one time, now it doesn't press you so much to go out and look for the knockout. And I think now that he's learned that, he can go out and box comfortably, not looking to knock everybody out. And that made a difference.
Well put.
And it also answers the question, is my cardio where it needs to be, right, Roy?
Of course it does. Anytime you go 6 rounds, it forces that cardio to be where it needs to be, or you won't last them 6 rounds. So it also teaches you not to try to knock out with every punch because you don't know how long you may end up in here.
Now, once you get to the 4 to 5 to 6 rounds, Goldie, now you try to start setting up your counter punches. Now, in order to do that, you're going to have to trust your defense. You got to make these guys miss. Let them extend, then make them pay. Now, that's another level of the game.
To watch closely to see if that is what Julio Solis is able to achieve here tonight. We are in round 4, scheduled for 8. Good combinations put together by Julio Solis.
What else I like is when guys get into that round 3, round 4 area, most guys start to drop on their punch quality. His punches are still very sharp, high quality punches. That's a beautiful thing in a young prospect.
Just turned 21 on Wednesday. Big swing and a miss by Garcia.
And that's what Tom was talking about when he said, make them miss and make them pay. Beautiful example of that right there.
Let go. No punch. Come on. Come on. Turn around. Turn your back on the
The 38-year-old looks to throw a lead right. Going to the body, doesn't headhunt much, but really he's been having to be on his back foot with Solís being so aggressive.
And so Solís countered that straight right with a body shot just a minute ago. First he was getting hit with that right hand. This time he stripped it and countered it with a body shot. Much improvement right here in the fight.
Garcia has been stopped in 4 of his 6 pro losses.
Those body shots are starting to affect him now.
Let's go. Come on.
Perfecto. Perfecto, sí, sí, yo sé. Ya no está esto. Papi, está ablandado ya, lo que tiene que sacar el cuerpo no aguanta. Tremendo trabajo, Max. Papi, lo está haciendo cabrón. Pasa igual. Vamos, te doy agua, respirá. Escupila el agua. Sacame el ballet. Eso. Escuchá. Cuando lo vas a agarrar, agarrarlo fuerte que quebrarle los codos. ¿Me entendés? Pegarle los huevos siempre. Muy fuerte, fuerte, fuerte.
After the first 3 rounds, Garcia was standing between rounds. After that 4th round,
Hey, the stool's there, he might as well use it. Solís, the mint green, blue and silver's got the macho on front of his trunks. Garcia, not a bad nickname either, PacMan.
well, it all depends on how you look at it.
Yeah, that's true. Great point, right. Round 5, Julio looking to turn it up. There was some aggression right at the bell at the end of round 4.
They got to watch their heads, because both of them are coming right in with those heads like that, with those heads down. Somebody's bound to get headbutts soon if they're not careful.
That's why it's important to keep that jab out there to prevent falling in with the head.
Julio does a nice job of sitting down on his punches. Tries to give the fans a bang for their buck. Doing it here tonight.
Once again, beautiful combination off of that straight right hand thrown by Garcia. Julio landed 2 quick shots off of it, and I love that.
All right, here's southpaw number 2.
Oh, he went back to southpaw for a minute.
For a minute. For 8.2 seconds.
Just to change that picture up a little bit.
There you go. And that time it did, Roy.
It's his timing. His timing is off about maybe a split second from landing something significant.
Now, is that because Garcia is doing something to cause that to happen, Antonio?
No, I mean, you got to keep trying. You got to keep trying to set that trap, keep trying to set him up. But sometimes you only miss by an inch, so you just got to go right back to it.
That one he did.
That herky-jerky style of that 24 fight veteran does make it difficult too, though.
Let go.
Garcia has been known to be a little off balance when his opponents have crowded him in past fights. Julio's been working that jab nicely, more at distance.
Love to see Julio work behind that jab. It's just a whole different fight anytime he decides to work behind that jab.
Yeah, Antonio, basically when he goes that southpaw, he just walks in with a punch and then switches back to his normal stance. Again, like you and Roy have said, he's just looking for something different.
Yeah, that might be what it is. Might be a habit, but he don't stay there long.
As I mentioned, it feels a little bit more calm and collected here tonight with Superman and one Magic Man, because Magic Man Light is over there with Alan and Mr. Calderon on the Spanish broadcast.
Miss you, Paulie.
Miss you, Magic Man Light. And he's not talking right now.
That's strange. This is very strange. Somebody should put this in the record books. This is very unusual that we get this guy with his mouth that closed. I really can't believe it. I'm amazed right now.
Superman has spoken. That might be a world record for Paulie.
A whole minute?
Yeah. Not a long time. And not on his phone during the time either.
Just sitting there.
Just sitting there, taking it in, missing us. Round 6. Solís went the distance, won by unanimous decision in his last fight. That was scheduled for 6.
And what that has done is taught him how to pace himself.
Yes.
Now to go 6, 7, or 8. He's going to go 8 tonight so far. It looks like he might end up going 8, but he's looking beautifully sharp. He's looking much more impressive than he did in that 6th rounder, because now he's not just looking for a knockout. He's looking to set things up and get these shots in like he's supposed to. I love the work. Everybody work too.
Remember saying to Roy in that last fight, that's 18 minutes of tape that they now are able to break down, and they've obviously done so.
Broke it down and did a great job of breaking it down and educating him from that tape.
When you look at Garcia, I mean, he's making it difficult. He's not complying with Solís. You know, even though he doesn't have the rhythm and the stylistic form of boxing, he definitely knows how to survive, know how to make it tough in this ring.
And he's done that tonight. He's made it very tough for Solís, but Solís doing a great job, doing exactly what you want to see a young prospect do in manhandling the business like he did right there.
Nice uppercut hook combination by Julio Solis. And Garcia has 13 knockouts in his professional career. 17, 6-1 overall for the 38-year-old.
Good jab by both fighters.
There's that change of levels again from Solís. Garcia trying to turn it up here.
Yeah, Garcia has a hell of a heart on him too, because he's taking a thrashing and he's still coming forward, still trying to land a big shot, still taking risks, gambling, trying to land something. Most guys would give up at this point. They wouldn't even try to win. He's still trying to win. Taking shots like that and still coming right back. You don't see that often in pro boxing.
You do on Pro Box TV, Roy.
You better believe it.
50-50 matchups, good fighters, great fights. By the fighters, for the fans. Mike Goldberg, Roy Jones Jr., Antonio Tarver. Still to come, our main event, Cesar Francis and the former world champion, Ray Beltran. This has now become the longest fight.
Tráeme la vaselina, vaselina. Sí, quedó ahí. Thank you. No te preocupan por el ring. ¿Está muy cansado? Creo que es el último este. No está el bucal.
Here you see a beautiful combination by Solís. Hook, uppercut, hook, beautiful shots. That's what you want to see in round 6, round 7, round 8. Putting punches together. Again, hook, uppercut, hook. Beautiful. The guy blocked the hook, but it's still a beautiful combination and a great time to see him still putting 3-punch combinations together.
Juan Memo Lopez, his trainer, his father is his cut man, and we are about to begin round 7. This lightweight fight scheduled for 8. Let's see, much to Roy's point, if Julio Solis continues to put combinations together here in round 7.
I like that, and I like the fact that he's still sticking to that jab, changing levels of their head. So he's getting what he wants, but he has a real witty opponent in front of him. Good uppercut.
There's that quick switch to move that right foot forward again.
I believe if Solís stays right here where he's at, I believe he's going to get the decision. I believe if he allow, it's a little risky, but if he allow Garcia to throw his hands a little bit, open himself up, maybe you can dig that shot to the body or catch a clean shot to the head like that. But your timing going to have to be on point.
And you got to be careful of the headbutt, because Garcia is falling right in with that head after he punches almost every time he throws a big shot.
Julio Solis, as I mentioned, 3 finishes in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the third. Went the 6-round distance in his last fight. Antonio and Roy, you guys like the fact that he's going deep into these fights because he gains knowledge and experience.
Yeah, he's gaining knowledge, experience, and he's having fun right now. If you look at him, his body language says he's having a good time. Just landing a beautiful overhand left that rocked the legs of Garcia, but he's having a great time, you know. When you see a guy having a good time, you know he knows what he's doing.
I like the good time. I'm impressed with the good time, but I still would like to see an exclamation point, meaning set a trap, run him into the big knockout shot. You got to be able to feel it and sense it. So that's what we're looking for. You know, let this guy throw some shots at you, maybe set up a counter punch like that.
He's doing it.
I like that step back right hand. Remember we used to do that step back right hand?
Yep. He's doing a lot of good things, just the guy taking those punches, because he's hitting the guy with some good finishing shots. This guy's just tough, Garcia.
So, Antonio, it's not a negative that this young man's getting in a lot of rounds.
Oh, no, this is going to pay off. It's going to pay dividends, you know, when the time comes. But, yeah, most of these young fighters need to be pushed, need to be challenged, and see how they stand up to it.
Iron sharpens iron. And he's had 2 men that have stood in front of him and taken some of his best in the last 2 fights.
And gave him a good straight right hand coming in just now.
Yes.
So he's keeping him on his toes, you know.
Pace is not slowed at all.
It's hard to KO someone when they're bracing for all the shots. Very difficult.
Voy a trabajar un poquito estoy muy pinchadito. Mira, a ver, respira bien por la nariz. Escuchame, no le gusta que le peguen, Pero fíjate que le pegás, cuando le pegaste ya se cagó todo. Es miedoso el pibito. Es pesado. Sí, sí. Es el último round. Vamos por la Oli, Entrá y salile, balancealo el PacMan. Dale en la chota pegale.
La pelea cómoda, ¿está bien? Está trabajando bien lindo, bien fino, bien fino. Estamos trabajando bien lindo, bien fino, bien fino. ¿Está bien? Vamos. Vamos arriba, vamos.
8th and final round. 7-0, 21-year-old Julio Solis against the 38-year-old Argentinian Emiliano Garcia. Changing levels once again.
That was a good combination by both fighters. I think they both landed the right hand, but Solis ended it with a beautiful check hook. High quality boxing. Well, got to be just turning 21, fighting a 24-fight veteran. He got more fights than you got years old.
Yeah.
And his last opponent, Oliveira, had 22 fights, Roy, and Julio was only 20.
That's it.
Good counter. That's what you've been looking for all night, right, Antonio?
Hey, I love his footwork, man, and you don't see him out of position a lot. That's it. That's good for a young fighter to keep his base, keep his form in the ring. You know, he got great angles. He looks good in there.
And he's having fun.
That's the key.
We've talked on the podcast many times, guys. You got to fight the fight that's in front of you. You got to fight for yourself. You got to fight against your opponent. And some guys get into this, I got to knock everybody out, and they get out of their game, and then they get themselves in trouble.
And we saw that a little bit in his last fight. He got out of his game trying to get a knockout. So this fight, he's making up for it. He's showing us that he can fight a complete fight, staying right in the pocket of being himself, and this is what we want to see.
And staying mentally focused, not losing your focus throughout the fight.
No frustration that his opponent is still standing in front of him with 1 minute remaining in this 8-round bout.
And he didn't get cut. He didn't get a headbutt, no elbows so far. So, you know, he came in, he performed, and he got out clean.
And he's done his road work because his pace is not slowed at all.
Not at all. Good left hook. Good left hook.
Great combination.
Garcia is a jump hustle.
He certainly is.
I like to see him dig those shots to the body when your man got his back against the ropes.
Better believe it. Oh, good body shot right there.
And that was a counter shot. Good counter shot.
20 seconds.
Good jab by Garcia.
He's landed a couple of those tonight.
Julio Solis went 6 tonight. He goes 8.
Beautiful.
Nice 8 rounds.
And the 38-year-old from Argentina, pardon me, the Argentinian goes the distance against the 21-year-old, born in Puerto Rico, living in Tampa.
Terminamos ahora, lo hacemos ahora, no te me desesperes. No nos tenemos que quitar. Lindo, macho, trabajamos, hicimos el trabajo, ¿ok? Está bien, eso lo vamos a trabajar. Eso lo vamos a trabajar, papi.
That's when you hit him in the head.
Yeah.
But it's okay, bro. That's you have a sword in your head. You did that before.
No, this was this
Here
one.
are our fight highlights.
Round 1. Great jab, right hand, overhand right. Solís being very aggressive early. Still a fill-out round. That's what I thought was his best punch, that counter hook that he did. That left hook landed all night long. Both of them exchanged jabs in. But hats off to Garcia. He brought his heart. He made it difficult for Solís to really set him up. But every time Solís threw combination punches, Garcia didn't have an answer. That's it. Great work by the young man, and I can't wait to see him next time out. See who we can get to go the distance with him and challenge him like he got challenged tonight. Great work, though.
Round 5, we see him step in, keeping that pressure on, throwing those body shots at the end of his combinations. You see Garcia still swinging that hook, trying to land that big bomb, but Solís just was not going for it. Any time like there was the overhand right that constantly landed, had his legs to a rock, followed with a counter right hand. You want to see that from any good young fighter. There again, he stepped back after 3 punches. After the third punch, he slipped a punch and threw a punch between. You don't see that in young guys anymore. Guys are not taking it to that level. That was a beautiful night. Great combinations from him, and that's what we want to see.
Here is Mark Lichtenfeld with the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 hard-fought rounds, we go to the scorecards. Judges Michael Ross, Brad Jackson, and Brian Gary all scored about 80-72 for your winner by unanimous decision. And still undefeated,
Unanimous decision for Julio Solis. He can officially enjoy his 21st birthday weekend as he goes the 8-round distance against Garcia. He is now 8-0 in his